And a lot of times it's residual income. And if we decide to sell it off in the future, it's also a payout, but it's also residual income from the beginning as well. But all of that comes with getting financially educated, the right financial education, having a plan in place to diversify your money, but also always working on your skill set, personal development, self-development, because the market will pay you for your skill set.
Market will pay you for your skill set. Hi guys, welcome to the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show. This is where we interview entrepreneurs, affiliate marketer, coaches, and consultants. And in this amazing series, today we have super awesome guest with us. He is president and CEO of Kebi Enterprise. He is international best-selling author. He is featured in Fox 43, NBC, USA Today, which is insane. He is well-known business leader. He helped businesses. And people to achieve their financial goal, and he is passive income coach. So without further ado, let's welcome Kenneth on the stage. Hi Kenneth, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
It's really amazing to have you on the stage. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm truly honored.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much. Yeah, so before we starting, are you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, Kenneth, can you please share a little bit about yourself on how you got started, your backstory, so the people who have no idea about you, they also get to know about you.
Absolutely. Well, basically, I grew up with very humble beginnings, very poor. My parents sacrificed a lot to try to get us educated and provide for us, but it was a struggle. We grew up with not a lot, and so I was able to go to private school because my parents sacrificed to pay for that to try to get us an education. But what it did for me was expose how poor we really were. Because the kids I went to school with, they had a lot of money. They weren't poor. They had nice houses. They had very nice cars, things my parents couldn't afford. And I wonder, why is it that, you know, we grew up so poor? Why we didn't have those type of things? So what I realized as I got older, the difference was financial education. The people that I went to school with, their parents had a different level of financial education. A lot of them were business owners and entrepreneurs or high level executives. They also understood how to invest their money and buy assets that generated additional income for them. So I made it my mission to learn how money works and how could I grow it and become financially free. Because hard work, my parents worked hard, but they still were poor. So it wasn't hard work alone that made the difference. It was the right financial education along with hard work made all the difference. And that's how I started my journey and that passion. That poverty pushed me and gave me a work ethic, a sick work ethic, because I'm like, I never want to be there again.
Awesome, amazing. You clearly mentioned that there is a clear why behind you that push you to achieve the milestone that you have right now, right? And
Yes,
everything is start with why. Without having clear why, things are
yes,
not moving forward. So this is something
absolutely.
really awesome. So guys, if you are watching us live, drop hashtag live. Watching us on replay, drop hashtag replay. And if you have any specific question from Kenneth related to money, finance, just drop in the chat box. We can take your question as well. You just now mentioned how money works and grow. So can you throw some more light, like how did you find how did money works and how you may grow your money?
Great question. Normally, what I do, I sit back and spend a lot of time studying people, studying economics, studying industries, and watching trends. So I spend a lot of my time studying. Uh, Also, understanding how businesses work with business structure. A lot of small to medium sized companies, they don't have the infrastructure of an Apple or a Tesla or Amazon. So a lot of my experience when I was in corporate America, working in executive leadership for Fortune 500 companies, I understood how to structure a company, different departments, and how to make a bigger company operate. So I use those skills in most cases to either start companies from scratch myself or invest into small to medium sized companies that I can now put that infrastructure in place. Because I have that skill set from corporate America, if, for example, I can actually invest into a pest control company where they may have pest control technicians treating, but they can't get a big contract like a Walmart or an Amazon, but I can actually get those contracts for them. So if I buy ownership interest in that company, I know what I can bring to the table. And the upside will be so profitable, and I own a piece of that asset because I helped them to grow it. And a lot of times it's residual income. And if we decide to sell it off in the future, it's also a payout, but it's also residual income from the beginning as well. But all of that comes with getting financially educated, the right financial education, having a plan in place to diversify your money, but also always working on your skill set, personal development, self development, because the market will pay you for your skill set.
Market will pay you for your skill set, and definitely it's a true, because you can earn a lot of money, hell lot of money, but at one point of time, if you are not developing your skill, you are again on the same page when you from where you started your journey. So
Absolutely.
all the time improve your skill. This is something great point you just mentioned here. Amazing. So you are also helping people to manage their to manage finance. So can you share some amazing tips on how entrepreneurs can manage their finance?
Great question. Uh,
Thank you.
the main thing is to one, understand your numbers, know your numbers. When I do financial planning for anyone, the first thing we put in place is a retirement account, one that can actually grow on its own, uh, mirroring the stock exchange market. It's an index universal life is what we normally put in place for most of our clients. So they get all the upside of the growth of the stock market, but none of the downside. So that's the first thing we put in place because that's your foundation. Because in business, you don't know what's going to happen. It's a lot of ups, it's a lot of downs. No one plans for things to go wrong and ever, lose everything, but it can happen. You're risking a lot as an entrepreneur. You're a big risk taker. And that's why I admire all entrepreneurs and business owners because you're sacrificing a lot with no guarantee that it's going to work out. So we're the crazy ones. So we start off by putting that retirement plan in place where they can kind of protect themselves. So if things, God forbid, didn't work out, you spent 50, 60 years going forward, trying different things, and it never works. At least that retirement is there for you and it's built on its own. So that's the first thing that we do. The next thing that we do is teach them how to have an emergency account, put money on the side for emergency funds. So you have your long-term plan for retirement, and then you have an emergency fund because life's going to have those curveballs that throw at you. So we work on getting that budget in place. What's comfortable? And for example, if it was $100 a month that they wanted to put up into their financial plan, 50 of it we'll put into the long-term plan for the retirement, and the other $50 would go towards the short-term emergency fund account. That way they have a balance. Then from there, we talk about just work ethic. For example, if you're working on your business and you may be working a full-time job, then you have to sacrifice your sleep sometimes. Because after you get off, now it's a sacrifice of not money, but it's a sacrifice of sleep and time that you're investing into your business. So you still have your money from your full-time job, and then you may want to do a part-time job or put that part-time energy whenever you're off from your full-time into your business.
This is insane advice just now. And the emergency account that you something mentioned is something really important for people, because when they are when they earn some lot of money, They just try to invest in somewhere like buying a new thing XYZ, which is not worthy enough for themselves, but they just do it. And
Yeah,
in future, go by if God is not do like this, but something happen, they struggle to make
that's right.
it possible, right? Definitely, this
Absolutely.
is something great thing you mentioned at the moment. So you just mentioned in the previous thing, like business is always ups and downs thing, right?
Yes.
So my next follow-up question is like this: is when it happy, how did we handle the manage? Once we are getting some result, we feel a lot of happy, like
Yes.
lots of things. But when things are not moving forward, when we lost money, when we are not getting client, how we handle the moment at this moment, like how we handle anxiety and so many things are happening inside the mind. How we handle
That's a
this situation?
great point. Because the toughest part of the journey is when you're working so hard and putting out effort every day and not seeing any results. That's the toughest part of the journey. What I recommend, if possible, sometimes it's not possible, but I recommend getting into a community like the one you've created because you're going to have to be around other people who get it, who understand it's not easy, but we support each other. And that energy from that community will help recharge your batteries when you don't feel like it no more, when you want to give up. Because you may have family members that saying, hey, go get a job, go get a degree. And you know it firsthand. I see it with my friends. They're like, your parents like, you're not going to be a doctor, you're not going to be an engineer. And so now they feel like you're some type of loser or you're going against the family or something. I'm like, no, I just see a different path. Nothing's wrong with the path you want me to go on, but I just see something different for myself. So it's important to connect with a tribe like this community here because everybody understands where you are, and you're going to need that recharging from people who understand and that are like-minded. So that's a key place to position yourself in a journey until things get better.
That's mic drop advice right now. Be
Yeah,
a part of a community where people push you.
yeah,
Proximity, like proximity is power, Tony Robbins always say. So
absolutely,
be a part of that community who's push you and help you towards your growth, not demotivate you and something cringe you on all those things, right?
absolutely.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you for this amazing point right now. You are like you are a well-known business leader, right? So,
Mhm.
can you give some advice on how someone can become a good example in their organization and for their customer as a leadership?
Okay, great question. Normally, when I always tell people the quickest way to get known is to get results. And so at the beginning, you may have to do work for free to get results. Because once you get results, it's no denying it. And the more results you get, the more you'll get known and your phone will blow up. Here's the facts about this world. This is the unfortunate truth. Most people won't work hard. Most people are lazy. That's the unfortunate truth. Now, for a driven person, that means the game is wide open for you. You can outwork everyone, but until you get your name known, sometimes it's best to invest your time for free. For example, I was fortunate to get mentored by a billionaire in an internship, and he didn't pay me for the internship. And he worked the crap out of me. I worked so hard and I couldn't keep up. It was just unbelievable. But what he did for me was expose me to a work ethic on a bigger level that I've never seen before. So it's not all about getting paid at the beginning. It's about getting exposure, proximity, but also a proven opportunity to show results. Those results can carry you more than anything. Like a good friend of mine who does film, he would go to, he worked at the Food Network in New York. And when he was off on the weekends, he would go see what artist was playing at the clubs and he would film the show, give it to the manager after the show, no charge, and just say, hey, if you wouldn't mind just telling people that Taylor Cut Films did this. That eventually got him known, and then Usher called him to go on tour. Only because so he was able to quit his job that he hated doing film to now do this for Usher, and then he started doing it for Justin Bieber. So that's how he got started. But he would go there, do the work for free, and give it to him and say, "Hey, listen, if you like what you see, would you mind just telling people that Taylor Cut Films did this for you?"
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Like great thing. And this is the quality of a good business leader. And this is how you are standing out as a leader. You are
Yes,
not just a boss, you are a leader who is leading the team of 100,000 or whatever the number it was. Amazing, thank you.
yes.
So you are in the industry from quite a long time, like 20 years you are in the business. So what kind of changes you see in the business from your journey to till now, like in the marketing, in the sales, or whatever the things that you see changed in this life?
Well, it's another great question. One is this technology. We're able to connect across the world right now, which wasn't the case 20 years ago. We barely had long distance landline phones to connect, and the price was so expensive per minute that it's like, a couple of dollars per minute so nobody really did it because you had to be almost rich to afford it. So technology has improved everything so much that I think a lot of people, unless you went through the struggles of not having it, didn't really understand how powerful the tools that we have today. So, for example, a traditional business like Coca-Cola would have to build a plant in India to get distribution. Where you and my books are sold around the world through Amazon and through so many other distribution partners across the world now, all through people linking with me through technology. So I've seen um, both sides. So that was more like the brick and mortar. And now I call this click and mortar because it's internet, it's speed. So the speed has been unbelievable from that side of things, just seeing how business evolved over the years.
Yeah, money follows speed, and when speed grow, money will grow. Amazing.
Yes,
Amazing. Yeah, guys, we are here for a few more minutes. If you have any specific question, you can drop in the chat box related to money, finance, and all. You can ask any question; he will answer.
absolutely.
Yes. So, what kind of things you are following on daily basis that help you to grow into your journey, like your habits or for your business purpose? Like, what is most important skill you follow and your habits in daily basis?
Another great question. What I try to do every day is find out what will make me happy, what I would like to do that makes me happy. And then I build business around me being happy. So, for example, I love to travel. So, whenever I travel, it gives me a bigger vision, it gives me bigger ideas. So, I always travel with a blank notebook because I'm always taking notes. I'm studying different communities, different cultures, and learning. So seeing things and seeing different cultures and different people, it gives me fresh ideas. And I can also connect dots that a lot of times people don't connect. I can see where, for example, Starbucks, he got all of these ideas from the coffee shop in Italy. And then he took it to all the countries that didn't have access to it and grew it. So that's what I'm able to do in a lot of cases, is spend time traveling, um, still doing business because of technology. I can still run the operation and still get things done. But I know I'm at a peak state by getting into a travel situation, or I find a place that makes me happy or motivated. Because when you get to that peak state, you can come up with your best ideas, your most creative ideas, and it keeps you recharged all at the same time. Versus if you're in a place that you're just frustrated, you can't think, you don't like it, you're not going to come up with your best work that way. So you have to find what makes you happy, work from that environment, because now your mind is at the peak state. You're going to get your best ideas, your best work, and it's going to recharge you to feel like a winner. So you're really tricking your mind, but also putting yourself in a winner's state of mind.
Loved it, loved it. Amazing, thank you. And I can relate with you on the travel point because I also love traveling, and I
Yes.
started my journey into online marketing as a travel blogger. I started a blog,
Yeah.
which only depends on travel because I thought where I'm good at when people are finding your niche. So I thought let's start with travel. Then I shifted toward. Then I thought let's. But yeah, traveling something I can relate with you, and I love the most. Thank you so much, Kenneth, for sharing lots of golden insight.
Oh,
To
pleasure.
guys, if you have any question, you can drop in the chat box. Till then, Kenneth, you are coming up with one amazing book, and you are launching it in a few days. Can you share a little bit about it?
Absolutely.
What
As an
is
entrepreneur,
name as well?
oh,
The
yeah,
book name as well.
for sure. As an entrepreneur, we all need access to capital and funding. And I've seen scenarios where when I was starting out, I got access to big contracts, but I didn't have the capital to get started. So, for example, one of the contracts was an airport contract that I had. So it was a big government contract that I had access to. The challenge was it was going to be a couple of months before I got my first check. So I needed money to float the payroll for those months till I got my first check. And I didn't have that kind of capital. I won the contract, but I didn't have the startup capital to get going. So I had to go out and find a partner to put up money, which was so high interest rate and so tough of a deal. I really shouldn't have taken it because it put me in a bad financial situation. So I know firsthand how important it is for a business owner to have access to business credit and business funding, starting up or existing, because to grow, you need capital at all times. For example, if I want to buy out another company to get an acquisition, I need to have access to capital. So I wrote this book helping entrepreneurs step by step learn how to build business credit, how to get access to funding. In that way, they have every chance because entrepreneurship is so hard, and 87% of businesses will not make it. 87%. So if I can help increase that percentage of the people who do make it by giving them the main thing that they need, which is access to funding, because that's the difference in most cases. If they have business credit, they have funding opportunities. Now they have more windows, more options to take to grow and take more risk. So that's why I came up with this book, and I'm excited about it because I know it's going to have a big impact on so many.
Super awesome. I'm going to share the link in the chat box. You can pre-order it and you can get the access of this book, How to Build Business Credit and get access to the funding, right? Super.
Absolutely.
Congratulations, first of all, for launching your another book. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Kenneth, for joining us. Before we wrap up the show, can you share three things to entrepreneurs or upcoming entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs?
Oh, great question. One would be have a positive attitude. Positive attitude is huge because it's going to open up doors for you, and you're going to need that positive attitude to re-encourage yourself. So that's the first thing. Two, always be working on personal development. Always working on how can I improve? Where am I not so great at? Where can I get more skills? What am I lacking? What skill set would help propel me to the next level? So that's two, working on self-development. And then three, we have to become effective with our time. Time management is so key. What we do within our time and how productive we are will determine the difference on how much we get out of it. And that's the difference between a lot of entrepreneurs. Those like myself at one time, before I learned how to manage my time and work on my skill sets, I wasted a lot of time. I wasn't doing as much as I could. Ed Milet talks about 3 days in one. And the way he breaks it down, 6 a.m. to 12 noon is one day. 12 noon to 6 p.m. is another day. And then 6 p.m. to midnight is a third day. So 3 days in one. And if you have that mindset, of each day, you're looking at 3 days in one week. That's like 21 days in 1 week. You'll outwork your competition.
All the three pieces of advice are insane: personal development, time management, and third one is super. All the three advices are really amazing. Thank you so much, Kenneth, for joining us. It's a really great to have you on this session, and the energy was super awesome, super high. Thank you so much once again for sharing tons of golden nugget. It's really great to
Yes,
have you.
it's been such a pleasure. I can't thank you enough for having me on.
It's my pleasure. So till then, have a great rest of the day. I'll join you in a minute. Thank you so much once again.
Thanks again.
Bye bye. There you go, guys. There you go. He is a Kenneth and he shared tons of golden nugget with all of you. Thank you so much, Chiranjeevi, Suraj, Trupti Ranjan, and I'm not able to see the name, but thank you so much, all the amazing people who is joining us right now. I'm Nilesh Jain signing off on this particular interview. Yeah, but before I'm signing up, please join the Facebook group. Here's the link. There is all the recordings of the past interviews we have, and I'm removing this episode from my profile and I'm moving it inside the my group. So if you are not part of a group, please join it. Thank you so much once again. Nilesh Jain signing off this side. I'll be coming up with another episode on the Entrepreneurs Warrior Show. Bye bye.